Our next guest tells us companies are wasting thousands of dollars each month on corporate cell phone bills. With me here today to tell us how your company can save big money on these bills is Rob Bracey. He's president and CEO of Quartet Service. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
You run a service. There's only one part of what Quartet does. You consult on computers, maintain systems, all that kind of stuff as well.
That's right.
But you've got this service called Wireless Wolf.
Yeah,
what does it do?
What it does is it takes the data from a cell phone carrier and analyzes it like nothing that's ever been done before. And with that analysis, we can understand what people are doing with their cell phones and look for savings.
So what are the typical ways companies are wasting money on the cell phones they issue to workers?
Well, that's a great question. I guess the biggest way, there's several of them, but one is texting. We have a client recently that we found 3 of the managers of the company spent $1,000 a month texting each other.
How do they manage that? Texting's cheap.
A lot of texting, it is. Well, if you have a corporate plan, it gets cheap. But they didn't have corporate plans. We put them on a corporate plan and it worked. And that was pretty obvious. There are some more complex ones that we found that are even better.
What about downloading movies on your cell phone?
Yeah, actually, you know, one of the things, if you download a 10-minute YouTube video, we found that's 50 gig. So it's a lot if you're downloading movies and things like that.
If I just watched it live on my iPhone, does that count as a download?
Depends on the plan, depends on how you've downloaded it, depends on all sorts of things, and therein lies the complexity.
You've found that billing errors by the cell phone companies are a big cause of waste.
Yeah, they are, and they don't do it on purpose either. If you cancel a phone time, sometimes it doesn't get through their administration. Actually, when we find them, that's when they like us. They say, oh, thanks, we didn't know that. My company in particular, we found 8 months of 5 phones, and it worked out very well for us.
Have you ever been the cause of a worker being fired that you know of?
Well, I can't lie, yes, and some of my own employees. When we applied this to our own employees, we found some things that were quite disturbing, and that led us to look at what they're actually doing, and I'm afraid a couple of them didn't make it.
Because they were just spending so much time fooling around?
Well, one individual in particular was doing 1,700 texts a month. And we don't know what else he was doing besides texting. And when we found out that he wasn't doing anything else, that led to it. So actually, it's employee behavior is one of the small benefits of this thing. It's mostly about understanding what you're doing and figuring out better ways to do it.
More efficient ways.
More efficient ways, that's right.
Did I got to guess the cell phone companies must be a little wary of you.
They might be. I don't think so. We're a cell phone carrier agnostic, so we really don't care which carrier. Some of the cell phone carriers are doing things similar to this, but they have an agenda. So
you're kind of the honest broker in all this.
Well, we'd like to think so. Yeah.
But do you sometimes find that the cell phone companies are selling companies plans that really aren't saving them as much bread as they could?
That's right. And sometimes there's an agenda, but most often it's that the company's use of cell phones has changed so much that the plan hasn't kept up to it.
How would you keep up? Yeah, well, that's coming in with new devices, new applications.
This is the point. This is a monthly service that highlights different behavior patterns. It flags anomalies, and you can change your plan according to how you're using the cell phone, or vice versa. You can change how you're using the cell phone according to your plan. Both ways work.
A lot of small business owners watching the show, what's your word of advice when they're negotiating with a cell phone company?
Try and be nimble. Try not to keep locked into huge contracts. There are so many different ways to do contracts now. Just be aware is probably the best advice. It doesn't sound very dramatic, but that's probably it.
We're almost out of time. Are you a BlackBerry guy or an iPhone guy?
I'm afraid I'm a BlackBerry guy.
Just because you work in the corporate world?
And they don't break. They just don't break.
That's the big thing. And the iPhones, if you drop them, they will break.
No, I'm just talking about outages. Dependability for me is the name of the game, and for a lot of our clients.
And BlackBerry still has the edge there, in your impression?
That's an opinion, but yes.
Thanks very much. Fascinating stuff. I hope you'll come back soon.
Thank you very much. Take care.
That's Rob Bracey. He's president and CEO of Quartet Service. And one of their services is Wireless Wolf, saving companies money on their cell phone.
Well, we got numbers.